This podcast is brought to you in part by PNP Games, your online source for everything video games. Visit their website at pnpgames.com or at one of their 3 retail locations in Winnipeg, Manitoba. Not looking at the chat room, so Quacko can't screw me up. All right, everybody, and welcome to the Touch of Gaming podcast. This is episode number 159. We're recording this one nice and early, actually, for a change, on Thursday, January 23rd, 2014. As always, I'm your host, Lloyd Hannison, and joining me, as mentioned before, the Quacko himself, Jared Schultz. Jared, how the heck are you?
I'm doing just fantastic. How are you doing, Lloyd?
I'm doing well. I'm doing really well. Got over a bit of a stomach bug, which was not fun. It's always fun when you have kids and sicknesses in the house. But I'm doing good. It's hockey season. The Jets made a huge change. Super excited about all the games. Actually, game starts in about 12 minutes. So we're going to do the show in 11 and a half minutes. What do you think? Would that be doable? But yeah, no, super excited about all that stuff. Playing a lot of games, enjoying all consoles, playing a lot of the Vita, playing the PlayStation 3, playing my iPhone, my iPad, 3DS, playing Minecraft, everything. It's been a good year so far. It has been really good. Positivity. How about you? Everything good? I know I asked you already, but you just said, yeah, good. How about you? And then I kind of...
Oh, now you want some details.
I talked for
the details.
Yeah, I talked for about 20 minutes. So I think that's not fair for you, for me to talk so much. And I'm still talking.
Yeah, things are going all right. I've been playing a lot more 3DS lately, and so that's been kind of fun. I sadly just barely beat my first game on the 3DS, even though I had it for like 9 months, and so I'm working on my second.
Nice.
And but yeah, and then just things are going all right.
Cool. Already is good. Already is a good thing. Cool. So yeah, before we get into the show, we're just gonna have a little bit of announcement, just because of our schedule and how it's been the last little while. For the next little bit, not sure how long, whether it's going to be a month or 2 or 5 or just 2 weeks, the Touch of Gaming is going to drop down to a bi-weekly show. So every 2 weeks, we're going to be doing an episode for the next little while, just because both Jared and I have been really busy in our real lives, and it's making playing games on the platform really difficult. So Jared came to me with the idea. I agree, it's a good thing, so we can at least be consistent. So it's not going to be every 2 weeks anyway, but we'll just tell you that's going to be every 2 weeks instead of you looking every week for an episode. And like I said, this is a temporary thing up until when things kind of even out a little bit, but we just wanted to mention it here. I think it's going to be a good thing for the next little while, Jared.
Yeah, and it's probably a decent time to do it. It seems like the games have slowed down just a little bit.
Yeah.
And like you said, it's better for us to be consistent about every other week than to try every week and then fail half the time. So
exactly.
So let's plan for every other week. I think technically that's bi-monthly, because I think bi-weekly is twice a week.
I think it can go either way, actually. Saying.
All right.
Never mind. That was a terrible, terrible joke. But I think it is actually true as well. I think it can actually be, it can go either way. It can mean either thing, which is really confusing. English is a confusing language, Jared, if you haven't figured it out already.
It's true.
All right, man, let's get into what we've been playing. Jared, what have you been playing on your iOS device of choice?
I have been playing a couple of games, kind of my usuals that everyone knows that I play way too much of. Yes, I'm still playing Marvel Puzzle Quest. That is now my freemium game, and I'm now owning up to it. And it's still good. I still enjoy it, so I keep playing it. And then I'm also still playing lots of the board game adaptations of games. Lords of Waterdeep, Summoner Wars, all those. I'm still playing a lot of those. Mm-hmm. But of actual interest to most people, I am playing Nightmare Tower, which is a game you reviewed a while ago. How do you beat the freaking boss?
You hit him a lot.
My goodness. I can get him like to the third stage. I don't know how many stages there actually are. I'm hoping 3 because that third stage is like super hard, and I've tried
where he
probably
covers
10
the whole
times.
screen with bullets and stuff. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's tough. You should
and
talk to my wife. You should text her. She beat that boss in like 3.2 seconds.
so I need to like get like the pro tips from Kara Hennison.
Yeah. Okay, I heard a what? Is that what you said? What, Kara? Yeah, Nightmare Tower. She knew
Oh,
exactly what I was talking about.
she's gonna give the pro tips.
Yeah, she'll be the pro tips for sure.
Yeah, I've gotten to the top. I enjoy the game. I think it's fun, but I cannot beat that boss. And I've now beat it enough times that I keep getting a bunch of extra cash, and I'm slowly getting to all the upgrades. I may get to all the upgrades
You didn't have all the upgrades. Yeah, that's something you need to have most of the upgrades before you beat the boss to make it that much easier.
I'm to the point now that I would say I have most. But yeah, it's still really tough. So if I get all the upgrades and I haven't beat the boss yet, I'm probably deleting it. Just throwing that out there, and it's going to be one of those games that I'm saying I'm done with. It's not worth it.
Nice.
And then I've been playing a game called Ace Patrol Pacific Skies. It's actually by Sid Meier, is the lead designer.
Yeah.
And they originally came out with one that was a freemium version that was okay, and they came out like 6 months later with this Pacific Skies one. So basically, it's a World War II game. It is turn-based, and each turn you are telling which way your pilot should fly. You know, should they go straight? Should they, do a banking maneuver? Should they go fast? Whatever you want them to do. And the cool thing is you put different pilots in your planes, and your pilots actually kind of have a leveling system where they get more skilled as a pilot, and so you unlock more maneuvers, which is really, really cool. And as you get these new maneuvers, it'll allow you to take on more enemies. You're able to upgrade things. It's really good. And so the first one was freemium, and then they came out with this one that was premium. I think I recommend this one. The premium version, it just feels complete. You don't feel like you're getting nickel and dime. You get a really good, complete game, and I think it's like $5. But it's good. I'm really enjoying it. It's cool because you're trying to think through the strategy and trying to make sure that you can hit them, but if you can help it, you don't want them to hit you. And
right.
It's good, really, really good. So that's Ace Patrol Pacific Skies, and due to hockey, that's all I'm going to talk about today.
It's okay. The game starts in 7 minutes. You could talk a little bit more. We're not going to finish before that starts.
That's all I got, man.
Cool. All right. Well, I've been playing a fair bit here and there. Been playing a little bit of Jet Car Stunts 2, which came out. It's a free game with in-app purchases for level packs and things. So I think for $5, you can unlock everything. So pretty much absolutely everything in the game for $5, or you can play through a bunch of the game for free. If you're not familiar with Jet Car Stunts, it was probably the first real impressive game on the App Store. It's like these flat shaded polygons, and you were racing, and you had to get from one part of the level to the other, doing stunts. Basically, you can use a boost to rocket your ship. It was tilt, so if you wanted to go up, you would just tilt back and your ship would fly up, and then you'd let go of the turbo and you'd land. It was so much fun. It is now available. Version 2 is available, and it is even better. It looks great, plays great, and I can't wait to dig a little bit more into this one. I've just been playing it sporadically here and there, which has been a lot of fun. Also picked up Shadow Blade. Oh, sorry, you were going to say something, Jared?
I was not.
Oh, I saw your mouth open. I thought I was cutting you off, but I guess you were just breathing, as people kind of want to do to stay alive. So maybe that's what that was. I've also been playing a game called Shadow Blade from Crescent Moon, and it's this really beautiful platformer ninja game. The animation is just unbelievable. It's really, really, really good looking. I've only dove right into the first level. Haven't really played too much. Just picked it up, but it's one that I will be playing more of over the next little bit. So definitely be chatting a little bit more about that one. Castle Doombad, gonna be reviewing that one in this episode. Really enjoying that one as well. And I've been playing like a lot of like the normal Simpsons, Skylanders. There's a bunch of other games. the I can't remember what the name of this one is actually. So let me pull it up real quick. It's called the Legend. Oh, come on, load. The Legend of Equip Pants, which is an episodic adventure RPG. And it's this really crazy RPG where you're a guy without pants, and then you put on pants and you turn into the underwear wolf because it's a werewolf. You put on a pair of underwear, which turn you into the underwear wolf. And it's just this really, really bizarre retro-looking RPG, but I giggle when I play it, so I've been playing a little bit with that one as well, amongst others, but we won't get too far into that. Yeah, that's about it. Let's get into the news. First up, I don't want to say this game's name because I might get sued, because this company has registered a trademark for candy. So if you want to have a game called Candy Trucks, you can't. If you already had a game on the App Store called Let's Play with Candy, you can't, because the company from Candy Crush Saga, King.com, has registered and successfully attained the trademark for the word candy used in video games. So not only did they trademark a common English word that's been around for thousands of years, they have done it in such a way where Apple is forced to send cease and desist letters to any other app on the App Store that has the word candy in the title, which basically is going to cause all these games to disappear off the App Store. I don't know how this happened. I didn't think you could trademark common words. I'm going to trademark the word the right away, so that any game that uses the word the will have to pay me fat royalties, because apparently you can just trademark common words these days. That's a thing you can do now.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy that they're able to do that. And they have responded and said, "Oh no, we're only going to go after people that we feel like are infringing on our trademark that are stopping us." However, they tried to enforce it against the Banner Saga, which is a game, because it has the word saga in it, but
they don't
the
have
Banner
the
Saga. Yeah, it's like a tactical RPG about Norse mythology. It has nothing to do with candy. And there's a really funny Kotaku article that actually showed a game that was like put out in like 2007 called Candies. And it's a match 3 puzzler, and it's like, wait, isn't there some priority? Yeah, exactly. Art. And then even worse, in my opinion, is never mind. It's not worse. It's just all stupid. But I thought it was really funny when all these developers started trolling them and started calling. They created a hashtag Candy Jam.
Yeah. Well, they want to do that. They want to have a 24-hour game jam to make games based around candy. I think that's absolutely hilarious.
I thought it was hysterical, and like the lead game was Candy, and I just thought it was hysterical because all these game devs are talking about how they were going to create a game with candy in it, and they were just making fun of King all the way. It was it's ridiculous.
It is.
I am sad, and if I thought it would make a difference, I would tell everyone to stop playing Candy Crush, but it's not going to make a difference.
Yeah,
so
Kara's probably playing Candy Crush right now as we speak.
Yeah, well, you should tell her she shouldn't play Candy Crush.
She likes it. I guess the best part to come from this is Om will finally be able to lose some weight because he will not be able to eat candy anymore in the game. Maybe they could change it into fruit or something else that is a little bit healthier because he's been eating too much candy. Yep.
All right, moving on, because I've already talked enough about it, and I'm just not bugged by it. They're just dumb.
It's just ridiculous. Yeah, it is. All right, moving on.
Tales of Fantasia.
Tales of Fantasia, which is great.
So it's the first game. You said you didn't even know what it was.
No, I know what it is now, actually, just by looking at the article. I read all about this. This was a Japanese game for the Super Famicom that came out in the mid-90s, which I remember reading about. And I do recall that it was coming out for iOS.
Well, and a whole bunch of other games came out that were in this series. Tales of Fantasia was the first. There was Tales of I'm sure that I'm going to miss everyone or favorites here, but I remember there's like Tales of Symphonia that came out for the Wii that was actually pretty good.
Yeah, there's the Tales series. There's probably
Tales
like
of
a dozen
Vesperia.
games.
Yeah, there's a bunch of Tales games. This was the first one. It's releasing on iOS, remastered, and guess what? It looks okay. And guess what else? It's free.
No, that is not possible. Namco Bandai would not give you something for free. Oh wait,
Well,
they just did.
yeah, and it also has some nice free-to-play features,
course
which
it
I don't
does.
know what they are.
It doesn't
It's
show. I'm looking on iTunes right now, and it doesn't show that there's free to play. But there's got to be.
Well, it says you can buy items that revive your party when you die and stop random battles from happening for a while.
Nice. Okay, so they've taken out the items from the game that do that, and they want you to buy them, just like Candy Crush would do. So they will be sent a cease and desist letter for having in-app purchases to buy candy.
So anyway, I don't know how good it is, but it's free. So
Cool.
if you're a big fan of the Tales series, maybe you should pick this one up and see where it all started.
I just hit download because I am.
Cool. So I don't think that you'll actually get through it because I know you and you won't play enough hours to beat a full release game on your iOS.
I've done that. I've done a lot of that in the past. I just don't like free to play games that demand my money constantly. So that would be the thing that would stop me.
I'd rather pay a couple bucks and then not have all that. But we'll see what happens. We'll see how egregious it is, and we'll report back.
We will, but not. All right, moving on. Final Fantasy VI came out. Final Fantasy VI, which was released in North America as Final Fantasy III, right? Is that correct?
Yes, it was released as Final Fantasy III. For me, it was one of it may be my it was one of the early games that I played that I loved so much, and was one of the games that really got me into gaming. I love the Esper magic system and everything like that.
Great.
So it's just a fantastic game. I remember borrowing it from my friend and never giving it back. In fact, I'm sorry, James. I think I still have it.
That is called stealing, Jared. That is bad. You're not supposed to do that.
Maybe I need to go look him up on Facebook. I think at my parents' house, your Super NES game is still there. I'm sorry.
It may have been sold on eBay for many, many dollars. Sorry.
Anyway, so it came out on iOS, which everyone should be happy about because you can play it. However, it's typical Square Enix pricing, and it's like $16 or $17. It's pretty expensive.
Right.
I don't remember off the top of my head. You can also get it on Android. 2, it released with a completely game-breaking bug that made it so it would crash during a cutscene, and you could not get past that cutscene.
Really?
That has been fixed on the Android version, and they said it has been submitted to Apple.
Nice.
So yeah, just make sure that that thing goes through before you get too far into the game, because otherwise you'll just be stopped and can't go anywhere. And number 3, and worst of all, this game looks horrible.
Yeah, it's using. There was another Final Fantasy game on iOS, which I still haven't found the name of, but it was a game where you got random. It was just doing battles, and if your guys died, you'd have to wait time to basically for everybody to come back.
All the Bravest.
All the Bravest. There you go. It's using the sprites from All the Bravest, it looks like, which were horrible, just terrible. If you've ever played emulators on your PC, there was like emulators that would like smooth corners of jagged sprites. It looks like that's what they did, but they're not using like a filter. It's built right into it. Yeah.
Horrible is like not bad enough, because it seriously looks like it came out of like RPG Maker, and it's like, come on, you know that you can handle the graphics. I would much rather have the original graphics than these absolutely ugly graphics.
The funniest thing about this whole thing is the reason why they're releasing Final Fantasy games is because of nostalgia. Because everybody has nostalgia for these old games. But then they take the biggest nostalgia piece out by just totally destroying the graphics. It's like, do you know even what you're doing, Square Enix? Oh, you make me angry. You make me want to be angry at you, Square Enix.
You make me want to pirate your games. That's what you make me want to do.
No, I don't even want to do that. I just don't want to play them anymore. I'm done. It makes me very, 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 very sad. But
yeah,
anyway,
it's terrible. I don't want to talk about Square Enix anymore. They make me mad.
So there you go. Square Enix Final Fantasy VI is now on the App Store, and it will make your eyes bleed.
One other funny thing. So apparently they fixed this as well, the update. But if you go, and apparently in the first hour of the game, they misspell Esper.
Seriously? Their main part of the magic system?
Yeah, it just at one spot in the word, so it's not like all over the place, but in this one spot it put Epser. They mixed up the P and the S, and I'm just like, I just laughed.
Wow, great QA on that, doing a lot of great testing. Anyway, that is enough time devoted to Square Enix. Let's move on to something else that may be worse. Actually, I'm not. It's kind of there. It's kind of like on the exact same line. They're kind of teetering, but yeah, this is a game that was just removed from the App Store. It was it's terrible. Plastic Surgery and Plastic Doctor and Plastic Hospital office for Barbie. So there's two games: Plastic Surgery and Plastic Doctor and Plastic Hospital Office for Barbie. These games were removed from iTunes, removed from the Google Play Store, and basically these were plastic surgery games for kids, where the whole point of the game was to use plastic surgery to make your fat girls in the game become skinny and beautiful. And basically it would say things like, what was it? There was a quote that I cannot see. It must have been in a different article, but it was something like, you see Jane is fat. She's eaten too much candy, but you can use this tool or this process called liposuction to suck that bad fat right out of her body and make her beautiful for other people to find her attractive. Like, it was something like that. It's just like, what are you doing? How are you marketing this garbage for kids? But yeah, I guess there was a complaint to Mattel, because one of the games has the word Barbie in it for the character. It's not an actual Mattel game. It's just whoever made the game called the girl in it Barbie. So Mattel did a cease and desist takedown and released a statement. At Mattel, we take our commitment to our children seriously and work hard to ensure that there are no unauthorized uses of our brands that may be unsafe or inappropriate for children.
The worst part to me is the fact that it just didn't get removed outright, that Mattel had to do a cease and desist. And had they not put Barbie in there, there's a chance you would still find this game on the App Store.
Totally. It would still be there, guaranteed. So you can teach your children that they shouldn't be fat. They should be skinny, and pay people lots of money to make them look like all of the magazines. It's just like, how horrible can you be? Like, I don't know. These days, children have enough body issues with all the media out there, and to have games that are teaching them that, yeah, you're fat and ugly, you should use this this surgery to look beautiful. Like, how is that a thing that people decided to make? Like, it's ridiculous to me. I don't get it.
Yeah, I couldn't believe that article. I was just so surprised. So, oh well. Yeah. Yep. You can't get it now. Hopefully you didn't get it when it was out there, because this is just wrong.
It's horrible, 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 horrible. Developers should be ashamed of themselves. All right, moving on. We talked a little bit about this last episode. All of the iOS controllers that are coming out. We said one that looked really great was called the SteelSeries Stratus. It was announced at CES. It was priced at $100, and we said it looks great, but that's really expensive. It looks like a lot of people actually said that at around the same time, because SteelSeries has actually come out and said, okay, they're dropping the price. So instead of $100, it's going to be $79.99, which is still pretty expensive, but it's not $100 expensive, I guess, is the way I could put that. It's still pretty pricey, but it's cheaper than what it was before. What do you think?
I'm happy. I'm glad that they are reducing the price. I think that that this will probably make them the most popular controller. Unfortunately, I still don't think it's low enough that it's going to hit a massive audience.
It needs to be $50, so it can be priced with the same prices an Xbox One controller or a PlayStation 4 controller. But yeah.
But it's. I hope that this, because one of my concerns was that maybe there was some price fixing going on, that Apple was saying, you need to release it at $100.
Sure.
This makes me feel like maybe that's just what they were doing because they thought they could get away with it. And now at this price, hopefully this means that there will be good competition. And as competition happens, consumers win. So
exactly. Cool. I was when I heard the price drop, I'm like, oh, maybe I should pre-order one. This looks really good. Maybe I'll get one. Now I kind of don't want to, because I want to use my PlayStation 3 controller on my iPad. There is a way, that you can do it right now. You can play iPhone and iPad games that use the MFI controller support with a DualShock 3 controller from the PlayStation. So if you have an extra DualShock 3, you basically have to jailbreak your device, which is the only downfall. And you have
the Touch of Gaming podcast does not endorse the jailbreaking of your device.
We do not, but I've done it in the past, usually to get at little apps that are super awesome like this. I'm going to jailbreak my iPad because I want this. There's an app on Cydia called Controllers for All. It's $2. And what it does is it enables you to hook up your DualShock 3. And basically what you do is you download this app. It instructs you to connect your DualShock 3 controller with a USB cable, plug it into your device through one of those camera kits. So you have to have one of those as well, which does the pairing of the device, because for a PlayStation 3 controller to work, it needs to pair through USB, and then it will work through Bluetooth after that. And once you've done that, this jailbreak app will run in the background, and it will actually emulate the MFI controller support, but through this really awesome controller that has been used to play millions and millions of games worldwide, which is the awesome DualShock 3. I am super excited about this. I need to figure out a way to jailbreak my iPad so that I can do this, because I really want to test this out. This looks unbelievable. This looks like the best solution. In fact, I really wish Apple would add support for the DualShock, but they won't, because then they can't get their $10 bounty for every single one of these that is sold for use on iOS. But it would solve the problem 100%. I don't know. What do you think, Jared? Are you gonna jailbreak to get one of these running?
No, but I'd like to.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and test it out. If I do manage to not destroy my device, I will report back on the next episode.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think that it's going to be a little bit goofy because developers won't be programming for it.
But it uses the same MFI controls that is for everything. So it uses the drivers that Apple has supplied. So if a game works with MFI, it will work with this. It I guess masquerades as one of the other controllers.
So I understand that, but even with that, they handle a little differently. So I don't know. I'm excited. I think it's great, and but we'll see. Let me know how it works.
I will, if I do manage to do it.
Okay.
Cool. Awesome. Well, let's get into our reviews. Jared, why don't you kick it off with your review of the show?
Yeah, that was kind of a hefty news section there, but it was good. So my review of the show is going to be a game called Hoplite. Hoplite has been getting a whole bunch of buzz in kind of some of the groups that I hang around with, the strategy, all those. It's kind of interesting because the graphics are really minimalistic. They're kind of maybe like 16-bit. They're pretty simple, but it's a roguelike game, and essentially what you're trying to do is you're trying to go through the depths, get to a certain point in the depths, and retrieve a fleece and then get back out. And it plays out almost like a puzzle because you'll move one space and then the enemies will move one space, and you'll only have your guy has so many different ways that he can attack in, like lunge, and you can only lunge if you're like moving towards them, or like stab, and you get that one by moving next to them. And then the bad guys will all have different modes that they'll attack. So there's the little guys that attack, one-on-one, but then there's also a lot of guys that, maybe archers that will be able to attack in straight lines, and so you'll have to take kind of a curvy path. It's a hex-based map, and so it kind of rides the line between a puzzle game and a roguelike, because it very much is a roguelike. However, you're also constantly trying to figure out the puzzle of how you can, accomplish all the things that you're trying to accomplish and not die. So it's an interesting mix, and I've been playing it a fair bit. I actually have not been able to complete it yet. It is pretty difficult, but it's very interesting. It's very well done, and you can always tap on the guys and see where they're going to attack, and you move around this grid. You kill everyone on the grid. You can get an upgrade on every level. There's a little shrine, and the shrine will give you some sort of upgrade, like extra life, or maybe it'll refill your life, and you get to pick between a few different boosts. So you get to customize your character, but in a very basic way. It's not like you're doing anything too crazy. And you slowly move through these levels and get as far as you can, and then you try to win the game. It's super simple, but the strategy on it feels really, really good, because you're always faced with a fairly simple decision of which direction you're going to move in, and it's really quick to learn, and it's a simple game, but one of those ones that can get really addicting is you're just like, okay, I'm going to try that again. I think I can get through this puzzle. And usually you aren't able to, because it's pretty difficult. And as you go down, you get to probably the 9th or 10th level. There's a lot of bad guys on the screen, and then it just keeps getting worse. But it's fun. I've really enjoyed playing it. It's a quick play, a few levels, and then you can turn it off. And when you load the game back up, it'll load it up exactly on where you were at. And yeah, besides that, there's really nothing else to the game. So I'm not sure if there's anything you unlock when you actually complete the quest for the fleece, because I have not been able to complete it yet. But it's super simple. You're also able to shield bash guys, which is kind of fun, because on the levels, often there will be lava, and you can shield bash guys and push them back into the lava, and so then they die that way. And it's really, really good. So it's $1.99. It's simple. It's definitely more on people who really like roguelikes, or people who really like strategy games. I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5. It does feel like I would like just a little bit more replayability or something. I'm not sure exactly what to do, but I say it's a solid title. Maybe not my favorite of the year, but or of the year. It hasn't even been that long. Maybe not my favorite, but it is solid, and if you're into that type of game, it's definitely something to check out. And it's Hoplite, and it's $1.99 on the App Store.
Awesome. Yeah, I remember seeing this game hit, and I was like, oh, that looks like a Jared game. I'm going to wait for his review before I pick it up. And I'm glad I waited. I might have to pick this one up, though. It looks really good, and it sounds really fun to play. All right, moving on. I'm going to do my review for this episode, and it's of a game called Castle Doombad, which is $2.99 on the App Store. It's an Adult Swim game, and it is kind of a almost like a reverse tower defense game. So you play an evil scientist type guy person thing, and you have this tower, and in this tower you have the princess, and the princess is in a machine, and you're extracting her screams to power, I guess, get money to rule the world. Well, all of the knights and other people in the land aren't happy about you stealing their princess, so they are coming at you, and they do that by attacking your tower. So what you do in this game is you set up numerous traps in your tower, and as the enemies walk through the traps, they get hurt, injured, dead, squashed, whatever, and you have to injure people faster than they come in and try to steal the princess back. They do that by grabbing the princess and walking out. So if they can make it into your castle all the way up to the top floor, take the princess, and then walk the princess out, you lose the level. Thankfully, you have many weapons and superpowers at your disposal to prevent that from happening. And that's the basis for Castle Doombad. The best part about this game is the fact that you can unlock all sorts of different traps. There's automatic traps, so things like floor spikes or a scream generator or a trap door or some other ones that you unlock later in the game. They're great. You start off with just a few, and then you use the in-game currency that you get by beating the level to unlock more. Each of these traps can also be upgraded up to 5 times, or I guess up to 4 times. And each upgrade does a lot of different things. It can either just increase the damage, or it can do other stuff like add separate effects. Like, for example, the scream generator, which is something similar to, say, the flowers in Plants vs. Zombies, the sunflowers. They generate scream, but as you upgrade them, they will start electrocuting enemies that are nearby and stuff like that. So that's where some of the strategy comes in as you're playing the game. Besides traps, there's things called minions. They're just little guys that you can unlock and place in your level. They act as a trap, but they move all over the place kind of at their own will. So the first minion is just called Lil Minion. Then there's Bomb Minion and others as you go on. There's manual traps, so things like stompers and other stuff, which you have to activate manually by actually moving your finger on the screen on the trap. So, for example, the first one you get is the stomper. That's in kind of like the demo set of levels. And you basically put it above an open area of the level. And when enemies are underneath, you basically drag down on it, and then it comes down and squishes all of the knights and stuff. And that's the basis for the game. At the bottom of your screen is your traps, and you only have a set number of traps. So when you first play the game, you can only pick 4 for that particular level. But as you go on, you can unlock other spaces by spending your coins to do so. What else? In each level, there are a set of powers, which you can use to do certain things. Like there's the one that will basically kill everybody on the screen. There's one that will protect your princess that you have in the trap with a shield. And those are a little bit different. How those work is you're given 3 to begin with. And if you want more, you have to spend something called, I believe it's called evil. I'm gonna try to see if I can find that, because it's called evilness, and you get that by completing missions in the game, or you can buy evilness with real money. So that's kind of the premium currency in this game. What else? That's pretty much it. The levels are set up in such a way where there's various ways for these enemies to get into your castle. They can come in through the front door, which is cool, but they can put up ladders and come in through windows on upper floors. Sometimes you'll have a guy that is like a ninja, so he crawls on the ceiling, so certain traps won't work. And you have to kind of figure out how to beat these levels just by choosing different traps and minions and stuff, and trying to figure out who's going to be coming in. There's going to be enemies that have shields. There's big guys. There's kind of like these boss characters that come in that can take a whole crap load of damage. And you have to kind of figure a way to go through it. The best part about this game is I didn't feel any need at all to buy any premium currency. I was able to get through the game sometimes I'd have to replay levels multiple times to save up a little bit of money to then upgrade my traps. So that was great. It doesn't feel like the standard freemium game that isn't freemium, which seems to be the standard on the App Store these days, where you buy a game for $2 or $3 or $5 and then feel that you have to spend another $10 to actually beat the game, which is ridiculous. This one has the ability to buy stuff to just kind of put things on fast forward and get through things a little bit quicker. But by no means do you have to do that. The other really good part about it is the traps are so varied. I think it's pretty much possible to get through any level with any set of traps. You can basically pick and choose whatever your favorites are. And I haven't really found a combination that didn't work, except if I tried to pick all of the horrible traps. Of course, those wouldn't work. One thing I didn't mention is to place the traps in the world, they have a cost, and that cost is Scream. So your princess is constantly generating Scream, and other traps will be generating Scream as well. So you can't just keep placing traps however you want. You have to save up the currency to do that, and that currency is Scream. Yeah, I don't know what else to say there is about Castle Doombad. It is an amazing looking game. It just looks so whimsical. It fits right in with all the other games from Adult Swim. Sorry, I forgot the name of the subtitle of this game. It's funny, it's quirky, and it is a hell of a lot of fun to play. I don't have anything bad to say about this game. It's great from start to finish. It is a fun title to play, well worth your $2.99 if you're looking for a nice strategy game to play. And it gets a 5 out of 5 from me. It is a really amazing title, and I'm really glad that I picked it up and started playing it. So Castle Doombad from Adult Swim, 5 out of 5 from me, and it's available in the App Store for $2.99.
Downloading.
Yeah, it's really good. You're going to really appreciate it. I think because you're the big strategy guy, you like tower defense type games, you're going to really like this one, I think, Jared.
Yep, it's already downloading.
Awesome. I'm glad I sold at least one copy. Awesome. Well, that's going to about do it for this episode, unless you have anything else to add, Jared.
No, I'm good. You can go catch the second quarter or period, sorry, of your game.
The game just started. I don't think the first period's even over yet. But yeah, let us know what you think of the show. Head on over to vgpodcast.com and click contact us at the top of the page to send us an email. You can email us directly at vgpodcast@gmail.com or call our voicemail line, which is area code 505 VG Podcasts. As I said at the top of the show, we're going to put a small little break, a little bit on the show. We're going to do it every 2 weeks for the next little while until we kind of catch up with some of the other stuff that's happening. We'll let you guys know when we're back on a weekly schedule, but you can look for new episodes of The Touch of Gaming every couple weeks at vgpodcasts.com. Jared, thanks again for joining me, man.
That was my pleasure. Have a good one.
You too, and we'll talk to you guys in a couple weeks' time. Take it easy, everybody.